Good evening, and welcome to Letters from the Light Side. My name is Annie Conboy. I'm an intuitive medium and psychic, and I'm here to share with you the channeled messages from my guides and inspirers that I hope will be able to help you to understand the energy that we're in at the moment and the things that are happening and what energy we're likely to be in the week coming up. So it's not exactly a personal message live, but it is about hoping that you can take something from what I say that you'll find useful to help you in the coming days. I'm also excited because for the fourth time, I think it is, this month, I am live streaming on YouTube as well as Facebook. So really getting to grips with the technology, and I'm just hoping that everything stays as it should while I do so. But who knows? We're in the shadow. We're just coming out of the end of Mercury retrograde. So I've had some interesting computer issues this week. So whether you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, whether you're watching on catch up on one or the other, thank you for stepping into the letters and finding out what it is that the guides have to say. So I would like to start off by kind of Rafe's with me. He's smiling away, and no doubt he wants me to laugh because he usually does. I'm laughing about something that I mentioned last week, and that's that little thing, the tiny little thing, timey-wimey. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey, as Doctor Who calls it, in one episode. We've certainly been in wibbly wobbly, timey wimey again this week. So you might have found that you've missed time. You might have found that you've got days out of sequence. That you think today is Friday when actually it's Thursday, but Monday was Sunday and Tuesday was Wednesday, and we're in a state of change. We're in a state of ascension, and so the energy that's around us, and we are energy beings, not just physically solid beings, is in a state of the best way to describe it, says Ray, is a state of turbulence. I'm laughing. It's more than turbulence. It's not knowing whether you're here, there, or anywhere. At least that's the way of this week's been. However, when we step out of time, one of the magical things that happens is stuff starts to manifest. It starts to appear fast and furious, which is wonderful. That's what we really need, is all the things we want, the desires and requirements we have, to be manifested, to pop up and come into our lives. So it is a really good time for manifesting. So things that you want may be just suddenly appearing out of nowhere, and it can be a little bit of a shock because things that maybe you were not sure you wanted have turned up out of nowhere, right? As well. So the thing to remember is, because we're in this adjustment period, getting used to new levels of positive flows of energy, we have to kind of just take a pause and stay steady, take it easy. Just accept that if you don't know where you are, you don't know where you are. Sorry, that's the story of my life. Raves always, I'm in the middle of doing, I don't know what, where I am, what am I doing? But it's all to good purpose. We are coming into a really, really rapid rise of spiritual awareness, people switching on to their intuition, people finding that the intuitive life does exist. We're heading to a big shake-up, and it's in July, so not going to be the best of months for anything on this planet, any of us. However, it's the shake-up that's necessary before we get into changing everything. And so this week you might have been kind of finding yourself a bit restless. Certainly the dreaming's been full on, if you've managed to sleep, because the other nice little thing that's happening now, Mercury is apparently going forward again. We're starting to feel restlessness for that forward momentum. And we're also getting the big blasts of moon energy. We're coming into a powerful full moon. Now, that powerful full moon might knock you out of your sleep pattern, might put you off your stride a little bit, because it's an emotional moon. It's asking us to resolve the past, to put those emotions to bed once and for all. If we're going to make the changes we need to make in our lives, we've got to stop dragging that baggage from the past. Now, I know it's easier said than done. Rafe's killing himself laughing here because he's got me manacled to sort of 5 big trunks and suitcases. And I do agree with him somewhat that we do kind of drag the stuff. You might find that energy of wanting to clear your house, wanting to get rid of stuff, wanting to tidy it out, saying, do I need all of this? Do I need to travel lighter? That restless energy. And it's enhanced by the moon, which is saying, give yourself a break. You don't have to keep judging yourself so harshly. And you certainly don't have to keep carrying these emotions forward and forward and forward. The nice thing is, the full moon on Saturday then leads us into 2 weeks of a waning moon, when it's the perfect time to release. So Rafe's saying, have a good chuck out. Get gone of anything that you don't want anymore. And that is not just the physical, material things, but it's looking inside at the clutter. I'm very cluttered sometimes inside. Very cluttered. and he's very kind of clear. It's really, if we're going to do the things we're here to do, if we're going to make the changes, if we're going to put more love in the world, then what we have to do is get rid of the stuff that's holding us back. And he acknowledges it's much easier said than done, but he reminds us we can always call on Saint Germain for help. We can call on the Earth's archangels, those beautiful 12 guardian angels who keep us, making these changes and are here to support us. We can ask our own guides, because the intuition that's waking up in all of us is starting to let us see that there's more than just what we can see, touch, taste. There's an intuitive world of non-physical beings all ready to help us, and just waiting for us really to say, yeah, I want more of that. Yeah, I want some help. Yeah, I want love in my life. I want everything I can possibly have. So we've got this lovely train of energy and the energy beings who can help us to make it all happen. So this point of feeling out of step is to actually show us that we've got all the time we need and more in order to make those internal changes and to make those external changes. Clear the clutter, look at what you're holding on to. And it sounds a bit grim the way Rafe says it sometimes, but he reminds me that you can't put much in a coffin. It's going to contain you and not an awful lot else. So do you need it all right now? And I do understand it's a bit grim, but he is right. He's making a very valid point. When we look at our lives, what is important? What really matters to us? We've been through such a long period of retreat with COVID. where it's been hard because we've been thrown back on our own resources, and we've had to rediscover, our inner strength and our inner determination. We've had to discover those community links and the support that we have for one another that maybe we didn't value quite as much, because we took it a bit for granted. We've been through a period where taking it for granted has really halted because we couldn't take anything for granted. So as we come into this lovely full moon energy, and Mercury's floating forward again with the bounciness of communicating and enjoying the vibrancy of life, it's time to bring that back out. You'll still be reflecting because that time out of time gives you the time to think about things, but it's not to stop you from actually bringing in the changes that feel right for you. Because I'm aiming for the understanding about July. That's what he says. He needs us to get prepped and get in shape. So much is up to be changed. We have serious imbalances and injustices in our world, and we've got to work our way through them with a positive focus, not a divisiveness. And it's going to be hard to bring that positive focus in when we've just had a period of feeling so restricted. I'm coming I'm coming up to the anniversary of being in the house virtually for a year, and we've also got all these consequences of a pandemic, and the consequences of the reliance on money as the sole energy that gears our world. We've got a lot of things to pull together to try to get the best out of where we're at right now. And what Rafe wants us to do is to be really strong in our intention to make a good outcome happen. He's been on all week, whittering in my ear, whittering about my intention, because he knows we've got a beautiful full moon, and I always send out my wishes. I do my magical manifesting on a full moon and ask for what I want to come in and ask for what I want to leave to fade and drop away over the 2 weeks before the new moon. And he's been talking about my intention. Do I intend to have well-being? Do I intend to have a good life? Do I intend to contribute to myself and to others? Do I love myself? Do I intend to love myself and love others? And, sometimes that intention's not there, I have to say. Sometimes there's a bit of me that says, oh, but that's hard work. Oh, it means I've got to be responsible for myself. And Rafe will nod and say, yeah, you're an adult, you have to be responsible. And I kind of go, oh, but can't I be the rebel me that says, oh, never mind it all? And I have to make a commitment, a regular intention to be of spiritual service to myself and to others. I have to do the things that are good for me spiritually, as well as good for others spiritually. And he kind of wants us to understand we gain far more when our intention is strong and clear, when we're not listening and being deflected by other people telling us what they think we should do or what's best for us. Now, we're in the real world. I know sometimes it's easier to listen to somebody who seems to have all the answers. I know sometimes it's easier to follow somebody who seems to be saying all the right things. But it's not what we say, it's what we do. That's the intention being made action. So if I'm committing to well-being, then I have to do the things that help me stay well. Sorry, he's laughing because I've got an exercise bike in this room and it's like, oh, I'll get on that tomorrow. Oh, I'll get on that tomorrow. And this week he has really been, look, do you intend to be well? If you intend to be well, you've got to do the thing that will keep you well. and I understand how those intentions can just fade into the background because I go, maybe I could do something else instead, or I'll distract myself, I'll do the housework. So he really does encourage you in the week going forward as we move into that waning moon and that chance to get rid of stuff. Look at your attitudes, look at your intentions. Do you really stick to your intentions? Do you follow your intentions? I'm smiling again because we've had this conversation today about intention. Because after my first book was written, in the bit at the afterword, I put that my next book would be out in May. I was meaning May 2018 because my book was published in October 2017. But I didn't write May 2018. Now I've been told, after 3 years, that I have to get this book finished for May 2021. And he said to me, I can't have wishy-washy, waffly intentions about it. So I've got to take most of my March time and put it into the book. He knows me so well because the intention is really strong for me when I get a deadline. So maybe think about, we've got changes to make. Can you give yourself deadlines to start that work? Can you give yourself some deadlines to release anything that you don't want anymore? Can you give yourself a target? I'm not very good at target driven. I'm a bit wishy-washy. But sometimes they work really well to get us to focus on what we need to do and how we need to spend our time, and the way in which our energy, when we use it in a positive way, will create for us exactly what we want out of life. So in the coming week, you might find that you're being challenged about what you intend. People might be sort of talking to you and go, well, what do you want to do? What do you really want to do? And you might be going, I don't know. Try to use those little prompts and the signals from your guides to encourage you to look at what you intend. A dream is a set of intentions. It doesn't become real unless you take the steps to make it happen. And following through what you intend can take a long time if you drag your feet. I should know. I did it long enough before I admitted that I was a medium. It took me years, 12 years for them to get me to start developing. And they didn't leave me alone in those 12 years. I just was dragging my feet the whole time. So recognise where you resist change, recognise where you drag your feet, and use the lovely energies that are flowing through to help you to work out how to get around that. New habits only come in when we challenge old habits and start to replace them with new. So there's a big opportunity in March as the energy rises. We've got the spring energy and we're coming into an equinox. We've got that opportunity to look at new patterns and to see what we want to plant so that we can harvest it come September. Lots and lots of ideas will be floating around. It's important when you set your intention that you listen to your heart, not your head. Writing my book is in my heart. But what's kept it off the agenda is my head saying, no, you've got to do this, no, you've got to do that. Well, you better do this, people need this, people need that. And now it's about using this energy boost that brings us into new, fresh beginnings. That's what the equinox is all about, is just opening up to, it's the time to grow. We are going to be growing whether we like it or not. We're going to be expanding our horizons. Make sure your intentions fit that growth and expansion. Make sure that you are ready and creative and set for the actions to follow your intentions through. This is a big year in the ascension process. We've unwound the energy from 2012 in order to get us ready in 2021 to make a huge leap forward in humanity, in the terms for humanity. It's going to be an amazing journey with us ready and prepped. It's not going to be feeling so good if you're not dreaming those bigger dreams for yourself yet. That's what matters. That's the big stuff, because that's what manifests in the end. What you dream, what you intend, what you work towards. And Rafe would love you to work towards peace, joy, contentment and happiness for every single person. But that starts with finding it for yourself and living it and putting that energy out into the world to encourage others to be able to do the same. So next week, be ready for the dip, which is the letting go. Be ready to let go of feelings, thoughts, material, spiritual things, anything that needs to go. It may feel a little bit like it's perhaps even pulled away from you, but let it go, because it's the right thing to do. Open the door to the new. Open the door to opportunity. And don't imagine yourself small. Rafe can never get over the fact that we restrict ourselves and keep ourselves small. That we don't want to be our whole selves. That's his puzzlement, because he sees how bright we all shine. All of the non-physical beings do, and they constantly try to tell us that we are more than we've ever imagined about ourselves, that we have more love. We have a spirit within to start with, which is loaded with love. That's what the spirit within is. If only we brought that forward and shone that out. If we took on board all that love that's in us, it would be magnificent. We're light, so shine brightly. Let the love flow from us to hold the balance in a world that is grappling with the tumbled energy of change. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that something that I said is helpful for you. Have a good week, and I'll be back next week, double streaming. I hope. And I'm sure Rafe will be back next week to nag me and to sort of encourage me and shove me in the back, whatever I need. So take care, everyone. And remember, dream big, those peaceful, contented, joyful, happy dreams. Thank you. Good evening, and welcome to Letters